This panel for us is the introduction of a strong panel that we have after this one on digital innovation hubs. For me, and being a neutral actor in the ecosystem, we've always been asked from the SMEs different questions regarding initiatives like Amable, technological centers, or MTC, or especially IM3 hubs, where we are one of the members. The first question I'd like you to answer or try to present the audience would be, what differentiates your initiative from a standard service bureau? Are you competitors? Are you complementary? Please, Miguel.
Yeah, so for us, for the MTC and the National Center, the service bureaus are as well industry. So what we try as well is to help them. So when a company comes to us and wants, they have an application, usually what we evaluate is that if that requirement that they have can be covered by a service bureau. So then we pass directly that project to a service bureau that can help them on that journey. So in case of doing that, sometimes we develop the project, and then after the company his application can be manufactured by IAM, and they are aware of it, and they can use it. Then we pass that information, and we have a meeting with the service bureaus and explaining them what is the project, what they want from that component, and then helping the industry. So for us, the service bureaus are part of the industry as well. Yeah.
Ulrich, you mentioned the service bureaus in your presentation, and I think it's
Yes,
part of your strategy. How you see it?
I do not see us in a role as to be a service bureau in any way. From my understanding, the RTOs which team up in Amable, they have the mission to help SMEs and to transfer competencies to them, so to help them to learn. And I see that as a clearly different approach, because the service bureaus, they will try to sell what they achieve, so their work, and they will not be very interested in, let's say, maturing SMEs. But we currently, we always look at core technologies, at new technologies, and then the next level of development. That's our main role at the RTOs. So it's not to deliver those services on a daily basis. I would rather be happy to see an SME that already knows a service bureau in order to grow the entire community, because we can't serve them all. So from my perspective, it's a clearly different role.
Pablo?
Well, since I think that we are complementaries with service bureaus, we have different goals. Our goal is not the mass production of pieces. So we are more in the previous steps of the adoption of the technology. I mean, we want to assess, we want to guide the companies to adopt these technologies, but we are not interested in producing for them, even despite we have the resources to produce for them. But for us, right now, it's a matter of making the cake bigger, not about taking a piece of that cake. So, from our point of view, yep, this is just what differentiates us from service bureaus.
I think we are on this idea of making the cake bigger.
Yeah.
We've all seen that over the last 20 years, the additive manufacturing ecosystem has changed, has evolved. Your projects have evolved. We just became a national center for additive manufacturing. I would like to ask you, what are your newest initiatives? What's your newest objectives regarding aiding SMEs, or new initiatives that you are launching from your different platforms?
Yeah, so as I explained in my presentation, one of the main projects that we have now in our hands are the Drama project, where we are helping the supply chain in additive manufacturing in aerospace, and as well the ASTM Center of Excellence. So what we try as well is to push the standardization and help the industry in general, so to talk the same language.
Ulrich, when we were discussing before, you mentioned that you had a new evolved goal regarding SMEs. maybe it was listening to them, no? Learning from them. What do you see on that side? Because many initiatives come from top down, no? We tell the SMEs what to do. And I think you were mentioning, no, that you were evolving this.
Yes, when we talk to SMEs today, then in many cases they have lacks in understanding and lacks in skills. So what I currently see as the biggest threat to additive manufacturing is that people get things wrong. So my interest from the perspective of Amable definitely is to understand what the SMEs need. Do they need good designers? Do they need such kind of services as we try to develop? Do they need, let's say, a decision assistance in should I outsource or not? Do they need this kind of accompanying business development plan that we're also doing within Amable? So do they need, let's say, an economic support? But as I said, the biggest threat for me is, or the worst thing that I think can happen to AM is that a part falls out of the air. And we might see that if we don't educate people, if you don't bring SMEs to a proper understanding. If they just rush out to a service center and buy in some service, print it and sell it, that might go wrong. From my understanding, everyone who's doing AM has to understand what he's doing. If you're looking at casting, milling, all the conventional stuff that has been taught over years from apprentices, from universities, so that's a very, very well understood area. Additive manufacturing is not, and we have to make that become true.
I think there's a good deal of frustration when people or SMEs are told what to do and they don't find the solution that we're looking for. And I think you are trying to help on that. Pablo, I would like to ask you, because from my understanding, you're not only trying to aid SMEs. I think Miguel also mentioned that before, but you're also trying to grow the cake, no? And how can you help creating new business? How can you help growing these micro SMEs? I think there's an initiative that we just launched some time before, some hours before. So please, if you want to wrap up on that, though.
Well, as I have shown in the first video, the IAM 3D Hub is aimed both big companies and SMEs, but if we talk specifically about SMEs or micro SMEs or startups, what we're setting up is the incubator. As I showed before, the incubator will be ready for the 1st of January. And it's a project funded by the European Union, and we will provide 5 different services in order to help, to support these startups. The first one is not very differentiating from the rest of the incubators, because we will have spaces, co-working spaces, private offices, kitchen terraces, networking activities, training activities, etc. So, but any incubator in the world can provide these services. But the rest of the 4 services, these are differential for us. The first one would be the production services. Thanks to the equipment that the machinery will have, we will be able to help you during the whole process of the production, from the design to the production itself to the post-production. Then we also provide business consulting services specifically related to 3D printing. This also includes mentoring. This includes funding opportunities. This includes helping you with the business plan for your startup. Then the third one would be the commercialization activities. Most of the incubators don't give the opportunity to participate in international trade shows like this one, and don't give you the opportunity to participate in international trade missions, in different congresses, and this will be done by the 3D Factory Incubator. And finally, thanks to the resources that we have in one of the partners of the project, in Leitat, we will also have the opportunity to do the certifying, the testing, and the validation of the pieces, of the 3D printed pieces. So our incubator is focused on startups, on micro SMEs and SMEs, and is very focused on helping you during the whole value chain of the company.
Thank you, Pablo. I think it's a great initiative. I think we'll help you and we'll love to be part of that. I like Miguel and Ulrich, just to wrap up. I understand that you've been involved also in the idea of incubating SMEs, of helping micro SMEs to grow. What advice would you give this new coming incubator in order to collaborate? For me, the best advice in the additive manufacturing ecosystem is collaboration brings success. So how would you advise on that?
Well, I would say that it's openness, so work together really. So if you have seen the presentation from us, all of us want to accelerate the technology, the embracement of technology. So I think one of the key points is to not close to what are your partners now, but as well talk with other people, what are the problems that they face, how they can help. So for example, how Amable can help on the 3D Hub as well, how the MTC can help them, so how we can work together really, all of us to develop to help MSMEs really. Everyone wants to do that.
Ulrich, on your side?
I think all our organizations somehow want to be the star of the scene. But I think that's also the worst we can do, to run after the star. I think we have to team up all the resources and we have to use them, because if you look at the employment sector, we currently do not have many actors, many experts that are out there that can really do it. And if we don't join forces, then we will not make it. So we have to put together financial resources and human resources. That's the two key things. I think the rest is about to come. And if we do that on a collaboration basis, and if the European Commission can support that, despite if it's local or European-wide or whatsoever, then that would be just beneficial for us all.
I think that's a great idea to end this panel. I think collaboration has made this ecosystem evolve. I think this is also a demonstration. We have people like Mobility Goes Additive, Amable, MTC that is also participating under the umbrella of Amable, IAM3 Hub, which is an initiative that we are really proud and really happy to be members. So this is a great place to create these collaborations.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Enjoy it.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Now we'll give pass to our MC, Nicole, and now to our wonderful panel on digital innovation hubs. Thank you. A big applause for our speakers.